the agenda under the provisions of the Brown Act. Board members may, however, respond briefly to statements made or questions posed. They may ask a question for clarification.
I am the lead and CEO of CERT, which is Community Response Team here in Stallion Springs. And with that, the address is someplace, okay, here we go. 27850 Stallion Springs Drive, Tehachapi, California, 93561.
Thank you.
Thank you. I apologize. Public announcement is Genesis Protect. The state of California has broken down into sectors, let's call it, and identified the area. And they want to know your location. This expedites the location of where you're at. I reside in Kern 119. And the way I found that out was going to genesisprotect.com, go to the map and enter your address, and it'll give you the location of your sector. Highly recommended that you do it. This is just a public service announcement. We have an ongoing draft with the CSD and the lease of the building. CERT feels like we're being, let's say that we feel like an adversary, that we're not part of Stallion Springs. We feel like we're under attack, that the CSD came to CERT several years ago upon the sale of the corner of Bonaventure and Stallion Springs Drive. It was approached to us that we would like to sell the property and we would like to build you a building here on the property. We agreed to that. We didn't come to the CSD and ask for the building to be built. Currently, the rate increase suggested is 833%. Before it was 1,300% that was proposed. Legally, it's 10%. If you check the rental laws and the laws protecting renters. We're not here to hurt the CSD. We're here to protect and aid in protecting the community of Stallion Springs. The Chief of Police has stated numerous times that he cannot effectively do his job without CERT. Now, I'm all for the 10% legally, that I can sign. Anything above that is not legal. The present CSD management doesn't recognize the lease that we're presently under, so they feel that they can rewrite any number that they want. The rent has been paid according to the old contract. I want to make that perfectly clear. The check has been accepted. Last year we also made the payment. The check was returned to us. If that's a donation, that's fine. I'm just speaking legally. We need the support of this community. We need the support of the CSD. It is now designated a warehouse. people have gone out on their own and gotten the certifications to make CERT legal as far as communication. We would like to expand on that from just local emergency channel that we have created to international. And that's ham radio, which we're certified for at this point. We have gone out and built emergency communications knowing that the first to fail is a cell phone. It's going to be overloaded, the first thing, and everybody's going to be without communication. It's vital to this area that we have outside communication, whether or not they want to recognize it or not. I could go on and on here. We pay $2,400 annually in insurance alone. We pay our own liabilities when called for service. The service goes as Gary, the chief of police, is our sponsor. He calls me and he says that it is a deployment. I need you now and all of the CERT members that we can muster. And then we respond. And as far as liability goes, if there is an accident or anything else, we're under deployment from the chief of police. Liability, we try to mitigate through training, and we're having problems getting a location to train people. We're getting a lot more mature, and we need new people. I enjoy the position I have. I'll do everything I can to protect it, but I'm letting you, council, know that CERT is in jeopardy at this point. We need your help. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Lindsay. I'm the Parks and Recreation Manager.
Hi, I'm Mandy. I am one of the lead rec aides for Parks and Recreation.
We wanted to talk a little bit about what our program's doing right now, about our pool, about upcoming events that we have going on, different things. Right now, July is Parks and Recreation Month, so we're going to be doing a highlight on all of our recreation staff, just so that the community knows who we are. Most people don't really know who I am because my face isn't on social media, and I'm like the man behind the mirror. So I want the community to know who I am, who Mandy is, who all my rec aides are if they ever need anything for our Parks and Recreation programs. If they want to come up with new classes or anything like that, I want them to know who I am, have a face behind the name. This year, our pool is doing awesome. Our lifeguards this year are amazing. We have such a great group of kids there. We had a couple of lifeguards make a save a few weeks ago, and a mom, I called to check on the daughter to see how she was doing. The mom said that our lifeguards are phenomenal. Her daughter has autism and is usually very scared of doing something after she's traumatized by something. She got right back in the water though afterwards, and she thanked our lifeguards by bringing them a cake, and she was beyond thankful for them automatically being in the pool getting her daughter out, which was phenomenal. Our pool schedule this year has changed a little bit. We updated the schedule, so we no longer are doing night lap swim because we have nobody showing up for it, and I don't see a point in having our lifeguards there with nobody in the pool. So we've opened it up to open swim, which the community has been requesting. And then also on Tuesdays, we were opening it up to see if we could do an adult swim and a teen swim for different age groups, and we had nobody show up. So we changed that, so now it's open swim on Tuesdays as well. And then the last 2 hours is going to be adult swim and our teen swim alternating Tuesdays. Currently, the costs of everything have gone up. So the cost of our chemicals, the cost of our labor. Our labor has increased $1 since 2023 to 2024, and $1.96 since 2022. So that alone, having us increase our pool passes and everything by $1, because has kind of helped us out a little bit. Our chemicals have gone up since 2020 just due to COVID. Everything skyrocketed. And same with our utilities, which we have to pay utilities throughout the entire year on the pool, not just during our pool season. Our pool does lose thousands of dollars every year to stay open, and we're hoping that that slight increase helps with us even breaking even on the pool. That way we can keep it open for the community. I know that people are upset about it not being open on Mondays and Wednesdays for open swim, but we're trying our best to keep the numbers where they're at without us being in the negative constantly with the pool. We do have swim lessons on Mondays and Wednesdays too, so it's not like the pool is not getting used on those days. We do have the kids coming in, which has been awesome. Our lifeguards are doing an amazing job with that as well. We are also looking for sponsors and for donations for our pool to cut down on the pool costs. We're kind of going around seeing if we can find bigger corporations that want to sponsor either days for the pool or the entire pool season, because that'll help us with the cost of chemicals, cost of labor, everything like that. I wanted to do a shout out to the Parks and Recreation program as well. Myself, I was on maternity leave from January until May. I came back in May, and I came back to the program being awesome. We had a car show for the police department, which was a huge success, which Mandy and Laura Lynn helped with that, and it was phenomenal. So I got to jump right back into it, and it was awesome. The community loved it, and we had so many cars sign up, which was amazing. I think that we raised over $3,200 for our police department, which was awesome. Then we have our pool that just opened, which was a big task. Our snack bar is open. We just did volleyball camp last week, which was awesome. We had 20 girls for the entire week, and they want to do more. So I'm planning on us having something maybe in the winter months when we don't really have anything going on in the gym. And then right now we're doing kids camp. So I know that on the Parks and Rec page that was in the board packet, it said that we had 32 kids. We have 40. They had a few last-minute sign-ups, so we've got 40 kids. They're awesome. Waste Management and Terrigen sponsored kids camp. The total was $1,500, which helps out so much with us getting supplies. We're doing a movie day, which was going to be on Thursday, so that alone helped so much with covering the costs. And then on Monday, we start our Oktoberfest planning. It's going to be our first meeting with just our planning crew, and then we have other dates set for CERT to meet up with us, with our police department, and then our maintenance guys and everything like that. For those of you who don't know, Parks and Recreation took over the bridge also, so we handle all of that. If you don't have the bridge, or if you're not able to get set up for notifications, please do. It says it has all of our events and upcoming events on there, and all of our calendars for everything. Also with our social media, since I started, our Instagram account had 200 views on our account. Right now we're at 15.7 thousand views for our account, which means our little community here, all of our events are branching out, which is amazing because that's bringing other people in to help, because sometimes when we plan our events here in the community, just the community is not enough for us to get what we need out of it. We are currently doing a partnership with TVRPD, and we're going to meetings every single month with them and kind of bouncing back ideas so we're not doing duplicate events. They do movies in the park. I didn't see a reason of us spending $1,500 on 3 movies when we have 2 or 3 families show up to each movie when it's a free event. That's a lot of money to come out of the Parks and Recreation department for that. But they do it in town. They don't do a car show in town, but we will now. And same with Oktoberfest. They've supported us a lot with those events and just helping us kind of bounce back and forth with ideas. We're always looking for volunteers for events, just to assist with anything. Oktoberfest is going to be a huge one. We tend to get a lot of people who say that they're going to volunteer, though, and back out. So I need to try to get some help getting volunteers that are actually going to dedicate their time and come to these events, because that's the only way we're going to make it happen.
Okay. taking over. We are really excited for our trunk or treat this year because we are going back to our roots and actually having it down at Woodward this year. So we're really excited because Tatchby Terror is also going to be there for the month of October doing all of their stuff. Woodward has some really great ideas for opening up their coffee shop to the public during their hours for the Tatchby Terror. So we're really excited to have our trunk or treat there this year. We're able to probably fit up to like 25 cars in, and then also be able to let them know, hey, go over to Tatchby Terror. I know that Stephanie that owns the Tatchby Terror and operates it, she has been so welcomed in our community. They live out in Sand Canyon. So it's an hour for them to drive out here and do all of their stuff. And she said that they have just been so thankful for our community, that we have been the most welcoming, and they are hopeful to be able to continue to be here. So we're really, really excited for Halloween this year.
And going back to Oktoberfest, currently we have 25 people signed up for vendors and 1 food vendor signed up, which is awesome because last year in September I was trying to find whoever to fill spots. So having 25 people signed up already is phenomenal because it's still July. So we're super excited. It's the 20th anniversary of Oktoberfest this year. So our theme is going to be a toast 20 years of beer and cheer. So we're looking forward to it, and we can't wait for the rest of this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Larry Heasley. I'm second in command for Stallion Springs CERT. What I want to do is present you with
Sorry, your name, so that everybody knows.
Larry Heasley.
Thank you.
I
know it's
thought I said that.
No, I didn't hear it. Oh, sorry. I didn't hear it, so if I don't hear it, then they don't hear it on the microphone.
Oh.
Thank you.
A little past history, Dave alluded to this lease that we are in discussion with administration here. I want to give background because we have new director, etc. We have a lease that was started in 2020, and that's our existing lease. And we were going along fine. We pay our lease bill just like we're supposed to, and we've been trying to get the building finished on the interior. It's a shell. We've done some stuff. We started to work on the interior, and administration at that time stopped us, started again, stopped. We've been back and forth this 5 or 6 times as to trying to move forward with building it. We have a set of plans approved by the county. We tried to get a permit. I was stopped by the administration because it's CSD's building, and therefore for us to do a tenant improvement, we have to have a permission from administration, whoever's monitoring it. At the time it was Ms. Stevens. Going through this, and every time we're stopped, it's making me wonder, is this obstructionist by the administration, or is it under your jurisdiction that you're telling the administration, both this administration and previous administration, what your desires are? I think that it's just the fact that you guys weren't fully informed of what's going on. An example, we had an offer from a contractor at his cost. CERT would pay for the materials, and he would donate the labor to finish the paving that needs to be done outside the doors and to put the sidewalk on to make us fully ADA. I presented it. No response. Not a response. It was yay or nay. It was just nothing. That was $7,000 the CERT was willing to put out. At this time, we have to withdraw because the contractors said, well, you don't want this free stuff, go someplace else. He'll donate his time and money someplace else. This is the things that irritate me as an individual, is I give to the community because I believe in it. CERT gives to the community because that's our message. That's what we want to do. We're all volunteers. We don't get paid anything. We put a heck of a lot of effort out for this community, and we don't have, other than verbal support from the community. And when I'm saying that, that's from the administration and the board of directors. This lease, we were presented with a draft in November. Senate Bill 1103, California, was approved and signed by the governor in October to go into effect January 1st. This draft was come up, it supposedly came from a legal department who apparently don't read laws. And it was for an increase from $60 a year to $700 a year. That's a 1,166% increase. So that was pointed out when we sent our response back. We sent our response back. We're dark for business hours during the winter, during the holidays and stuff. So January we fired back up again, started doing business, got our board of directors together and some other people that are knowledgeable in CERT, put it together, and we had a response back to the administration here March 1st. I just received a week or two ago a modified agreement. It's now been reduced to $500 a year, which is only 833% increase. It makes me wonder what is going on when we have people a lot smarter than me they're putting this together, and they're supposedly attorneys or legal for you, and they don't pay attention to the laws. I'm just a person. I go look things up when I have questions. And what are we doing? Are we going to move forward? Or is the CSD trying to get rid of CERT? If you want to get rid of CERT, it's easy. Just tell it that the PD is not our sponsor anymore, and CERT will go away. And if that is the case, I'd like to have an announcement from somebody saying that that's what you guys want to do. If you don't want to do, work with us, not against us. That's all I got to do. Any questions? All righty. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time this evening, it's appreciated.
Chair, if I may,
Yes.
did we miss number 4, reporting on closed session?
No, there was nothing to report.
Nothing to report?
She stated
I'm
that,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it, so, thank you.
Okay. Are there any other comments this evening from the community? All right, thank you for that, everyone, it's appreciated. Public comments are always appreciated. We'll move on to item number 6, which is the Board of Directors' time. This portion of the meeting is reserved for directors to present to the Board of Directors and the public information, announcements, and items that have come to their attention. No formal action will be taken. A board member may request that an item be placed for consideration at a future board meeting.
Well, I didn't have anything, but these issues with CERT are not new to us. I've come to understand from at least one party that this is an administrative problem. I really don't know what to say to answer you gentlemen about this, and I'm not sure it's even really within our purview in that we provided you the building and that things have to be done under the law. So I guess, is it possible to have an agenda item where the general manager can speak to these issues so we can figure out what's going on here? I don't know, actually.
We can always ask for an agenda item to be added at a later date.
That's what I'm asking.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So let's make it noted that we would like to have an agenda item added at a date in the near future for the CERT ongoing concern and community involvement. Was there anyone else? Thank you for that, Director Hill.
Madam Chair, if I may
Yes.
interrupt, I know the next agenda, item 7, Chief Crowell is running about 5 to 10 minutes late. He had to go into town for a situation, so
Okay.
it's entirely up to this board if you want to wait for him or if you want to move forward with the police report.
No, is everyone okay waiting for him on the police report? We can move on to another item. We can relocate the police report item. Okay.
Yes, I might have just heard the door.
I did too.
No, okay, thank you.
We'll move on to item number 8 while we're, move forward on the agenda with item number 8, our consent calendar. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the board or an audience member requests specific items be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. There are 5 items on the consent calendar this evening: approval of the minutes from the June 17, 2025 board meeting, review of financial reports, approval of checks for June 2025, approval of CalPERS retirement payments, and review of well production report. Are there any items that need to be removed and discussed? Okay, if there are no items that need to be removed and discussed, we need a motion for approval of the consent calendar.
I'll make a
motion to approve the consent calendar, so I include all.
second.
All right, and we'll go to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carried. Thank you. We'll move on to item number 9. Resolution 2025-17, District Investment Policy. The board is to review and adopt an investment policy. All right, Ms. General Manager, would you like to take the lead on this?
Sure, I can go over this. California Government Code Section 53646A2 requires local government entities to adopt an annual investment policy. While it is not required by statute, it is best interest of the district to discuss the policy with the board of directors and have the policy approved and adopted. A public vote signifies that the board of directors shares fiduciary responsibility with the district finance officer and increased authority and the legitimacy of the investment policy, providing for transparency and disclosure. An annual review and adoption of this financially sound organizational practice that should be maintained even if there is no change in the policy. This year, staff is recommending a comprehensive amendment to the investment policy to better align with the California Municipal Treasuries Association guidelines. Below are highlights of the upgraded policy. The district primary objectives in order of priority remain as follows: safety of principal, liquidity, and yield. While there is an investment risk associated with any investment activity, there's also the opportunity risk related to inactivity. The goals and objectives will be to actively manage our idle cash to earn a greater yield while keeping safety and liquidity as our first and foremost priority. Restrictive and comprehensive to safeguard investment principle and align with the district's low risk tolerance, and the updated policy is reflective but more flexible than previous versions. We have modified it to include categories of investments from the government code that are the safest end of the investment spectrum, but still allowing for achieving market rates of return. These include debt issued by the U.S. Treasury, U.S. government agencies, and debt that is federally insured or significantly collateralized. Conformity. This update policy follows the format and guidelines recommended by the California Municipal Treasuries Association Investment Policy Certification Program. In addition, the policy has been developed with the assistance of an investment advisor, Optimized Investment Partners. And as the board will recall, they did approve contracting with them at the last board meeting. This Optimized Investment Partners, they specialize in investment services for local agencies like Stallion Springs Community Services District. They're confident that this policy meets the guidelines and industry's best practices for California public sector agencies. By adopting an updated investment policy which meets the industry's best practices while maintaining a comprehensive list of authorized investments, the district will have the ability to invest in a broader range of safe investments without the requirements of naming individual banks as a potential investment partner. I have adopted or applied the board with Resolution 2025-17, adopting a district investment policy for the Stallion Springs Community Services District. This is the first of its kind for this district.
Thank you. Are there any questions? This is in tandem with, what we had discussed and saw the presentation last month.
Yes.
I did not hear what you said. Can you either speak into the microphone or speak out directly?
I said, were there any questions? This is in tandem with what we had discussed last month in regards to, the investments and the presentation that we had.
Oh, thank you, because I was going to make the comment that this appears to be put in the cart after the horse. After the horse? Before the horse.
Yes, and I can elaborate on that, Director Duell. Optimized, who you heard from last month and approved entering into an agreement with, they work for multiple government agencies throughout the state, and through starting to communicate with them and enter into that agreement with them and talk to them a little bit about past financial practices and things that the district had experienced before, it was discovered that this was brand new territory for Stallion Springs Community Services District, and there was not a current investment policy in place for the district. Therefore, they assisted with drafting this and providing us with a template that is used statewide, and recommended that we go ahead and definitely adopt an investment policy. At this time, no new accounts have been established and no money has been moved, if that clarifies it for you.
Thank you very much.
Is there any more questions, concerns, or comments? All right. If there are no more questions, concerns, or comments, we need a motion on resolution 2025-17 for the board to review and adopt an investment policy.
I'd like to make a motion to, resolution 2025-17, district investment policy for the board to adopt any investment policy for the district.
The existing investment policy is presented. Thank you.
Second.
Pick
All
one.
right. All right, we'll carry it along.
Is that gonna be a dual second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? All right, motion carried. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item number 10, which is our general manager's report.
Thank you. I'm glad that our recreation management team was able to be here tonight. And I think I'll take this opportunity to elaborate just a little bit about how they operate and the work that they do for the community. The Park and Recreation Department receives no additional funding. There's no assessment. There's no special tax. There's nothing that the residents pay other than their property taxes that fund that department. So part of the general fund is utilized every year, but most recently, since our new management team has come on board, they've been very successful obtaining sponsorship from major local corporations and individuals, and recruiting volunteers. The kids camp that is happening this week, as they elaborated on, was sponsored by WM and Terrigen. And they had, like she said, the 40 kids with our recreation staff. In addition, they have 4 residential volunteers that are assisting with kids camp. That department isn't possible without that support. They are all part-time employees. There is not one full-time employee with the Park and Recreation Department. The funding is just not there to make that possible. Touching again on the swimming pool a little bit, the management team did feel compelled to come here tonight because there was a little bit of negative social media that occurred regarding the hours of the swimming pool and the cost of the swimming pool. We are, as a government agency and public entity, we are required by law to have lifeguards on duty. We cannot swim at your own risk. And, you know, it's something that's very important. Like they elaborated, they just made a save last week. Last year, there were 3 critical incidents at the Bear Valley pool. It is critical that we have lifeguards on duty. They're an essential part of our summer program. The pool was put in 2017. Pool was donated. Major donor was a local contractor, and then there were other donors as well, local residents that put in to make that pool possible. But there was no maintenance plan. And pools require a lot of maintenance. And the pool has never been replastered, it's never been retiled, and it's never had new pumps. It's operating on its original pump system. I believe I've shared before, last year, while the pool was closed for the season, we looked into getting the pool replastered. As a government agency, we have to pay prevailing wage. The least expensive bid to replaster and retile the pool was almost $200,000. So we were able to discover that there was an acrylic coating specifically for swimming pools, almost a very thick paint, if you will. And our public works staff was able to apply that on their own. And that's how the pool was able to open this year. Just today, a tile fell off. So now we're looking at adhesive that we can use in the water to get through this year and provide that amenity to the community. But pools are very expensive. And last year it was $4 for a day pass. This year it's $5. You can stay the whole time. It's open. It's open on some days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for 6 hours of public swim. You can stay there for that long for $5. And that's how we have to operate. So I wanted to share that. Management staff did also touch on what I've put regularly in my general manager's report. We are working very hard to collaborate with the surrounding recreation departments so that we don't duplicate. Bear Valley is in attendance, the school district, Stallion, of course, Golden Hills, City of Tehachapi officials, and Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Parks. We're all at the table. They are well aware that Oktoberfest is our major fundraiser of the year. It really carries that department through, so we can pay the staff to put on the programs. And they have been very gracious and very conscientious about not scheduling an event on that day so that they can support Stallion. So I thank them for that. So unless there's any questions, that's my report for this month.
Is there any questions or comments for general manager? Okay, then we just need a motion to receive and file.
I make a motion to receive and file, general manager's report.
Second.
Thank you. The vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you, General Manager. Good evening, Chief.
Evening.
We will now turn it over to you.
I got my phone, thank you. Good evening, community. Good evening, Board of Directors, Madam General Manager. Sorry for my tardiness. It's been a busy day. For the month of June, we had 5 arrests, 12 citations, 105 reports, 129 calls for service, 4 call-outs, 12 officer-initiated investigations, 6 interviews, 10 assist other departments, 6 medical aids, and 10 vacation house checks. Obviously, it's summertime, it gets very, very busy. Looking at the reports from last year, I think we are a month and a half up than we were last year at this time. It started off kind of slow. This summer has been very, very busy. Just this month we had, I think, 3 care flights, and I think there was 9 medical aids in one evening. 2 death investigations. It's just been very, very, very busy during the summertime. We had a felony warrant arrest. We did a traffic stop for expired registration. During the stop, we contacted a 26-year-old passenger who we knew had multiple warrants for his arrest, one for felony DUI. He was obviously trying to avoid us making contact with him, so he had his mother drive him around, but we have information that he was driving around and was just trying to avert our contact. We did a contact with a 51-year-old male who was cited on a promise to appear. A traffic stop for, again, registration resulted in a 52-year-old male being cited for driving on a suspended license and also having a misdemeanor warrant. Felony, this one's kind of an interesting one. The last incident I just mentioned is connected to the second section. There was a felony warrant arrest for drug paraphernalia. While assisting at a local business with a found cell phone, an officer encountered a 57-year-old male known to have an active warrant. The individual attempted to leave the area but was detained. A search revealed a smoking drug pipe in his front pocket and a felony cited for a felony warrant, possession of drug paraphernalia, and release on a promise to appear. The reason why I mentioned that is we were actually on this other stop where we had this phone, and then this individual came across us, who also knew because we arrested him, and it was actually our warrant. Now, why I'm kind of saying this jokingly is it was just the powers that be that night of this person avoiding our contact, and then him going to the service station, and then him seeing us and trying to avoid us, and then him having an illegal item on him. He did have a felony warrant that was cited. Now, because there's so many people in Kern County's Laredo jail, we have been noticing that a lot of the individuals that we're arresting for felonies are being released. So, rather than us driving all the way to Laredo, we contact the jail and ask, are you going to cite and release this person? In which they tell us, yes, under the Fed cap rule, they're going to go ahead and release them. So under those circumstances, we, for only like the 3rd time in our department, have cited for a felony. But that is possibly going to continue, just the way things are. You may have heard some high-profile incidents the last month. There was a search warrant with the Tehachapi Police Department, where your police department was able to provide some information to Tehachapi to successfully get search warrants and arrest several individuals that were in possession of stolen property and I think additional drugs and weapons. A larger case, which you may have heard, was there was a burnt, decomposed body in a shipping container. What was not reported is we were the initial agency that handled the case. We received information that there was a body. We notified the sheriff's department, and our officer and that deputy went and found the burnt body. They handled it as a homicide. This was the day before our horsepower havoc meeting, so we were very, very tired during that time. But again, the show must go on. But it was not reported that we were the initiating agency. It was the deputy did handle it, which they did. But we were the initial agency that received the information and discovered the body and assisted the sheriff's department with their homicide investigation. About 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks later, there was some additional information that was kind of piggybacked off of our information, and they were able to put the 2 to 2 together because it was a missing person investigation, and the grandson of the individual, his statement did not correlate properly. So they were able to find a ghost gun and I believe some illegal drugs in the property. They arrested him for that, and then they were able to gather more information as well as do a more in-depth autopsy, which obviously showed that it was a homicide. Believe it or not, through this, because we've been assisting other departments, and again, crime is not just isolated to Stallion, but there is that criminal component of they do come out here or there's a connection out here. Sergeant Bosness was attempting to get food at Jack in the Box, of all places, which, again, probably not the best place to get things. Of course, I didn't say that officially. He was just trying to get food because he hadn't eaten anything all day. And there was 2 cars in front of him, flagged him down and said, hey, there's this really rude person yelling and screaming at me and the staff. So, of course, we're in uniform and we're in a patrol vehicle. He gets out and makes contact with the driver, who is heavily intoxicated. So we then detained that individual, gave it to Tehachapi Police Department, where they were ultimately arrested for DUI. Again, we have received a lot of help from the CHP, Kern County, and again, we're assisting with Tehachapi. So it's a reciprocal relationship, but sometimes people have criticized us for being outside of our area. And again, as you can see, you know, there's things that are happening all over the place, but things do come to our attention, even when we're trying not to and put blinders on. And then lastly, we had a successful car show event, which I'm sure you heard about, Horsepower Havoc. We are hopeful that we will continue having it in the future. We were able to have some very, very nice cars and had a very nice attendance. And there's some faces here today that were at it. And I think it was a very, very positive, great event for our little community. And with that, I have nothing else to report. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Chief. Are there any questions or comments for Chief?
I just have a comment. Chief, the Jack in the Box is consistently rated as one of the top fast food joints. So I don't blame Bonzes for a quick.
Yes, for the record, it is delicious food, and I encourage everyone to eat such.
Except for the 2 tacos for $1. That's absolutely in the worst kind of way that you'd eat something.
And believe it or not, he ordered his food, and I thank you for bringing that up. So it closed because, again, we're doing law enforcement stuff, and it was right around the time it was about to close, and they were nice enough to still give him his order. They actually said, we're closed right now, but I know you're really hungry. Do you still want their food? And they actually remade his food. So, again, kudos to them for doing that because they didn't have to do that. So, again, yes, all places are good to go.
Thank you for that, Chief. I'm sure all of the best food places in Commonwealth will be very happy with that endorsement. Okay. All right. If we don't have anything else for Chief this evening, then we are at a point where we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you, Chief. I know it's a long day for you.